So I'm Ricky. Thank you very much for the introduction, Raf. I'm a partner and a brand strategist and a copywriter for a London agency called Clinical. We're in our 10th year now. They say most startups don't last 3 years, or is it 3 months? We're in our 10th year. We work with clients all over the world, and that puts me in a great position as a copywriter to understand different sectors, different industries, different businesses, and understand customer perception as well and the way the world is changing. As a copywriter, I see these things from a unique angle. Um, just to start off with, I got a question for you guys. If you could put the answers in the comments section. How confident are you? So I'm going to be speaking about copywriting, so writing. How confident are you as an individual if you were asked to write about your specialist subject? So if you were to write an article on LinkedIn or write a white paper about your job, about your area of expertise, how confident would you be out of 10 with putting that together? So in terms of how to start and what the style should be and all those kinds of things, would you be ready to go or would you be a little bit struggling? Writing isn't everybody's favorite subject. It is mine. And if it's not yours, now is not the time to go and get a coffee. Now's the time to listen up because I'm going to try my very best to blow your mind as much as I can with a subject as exciting as copywriting. So we're all individuals. We're all very different people, different roles, different goals and objectives. We're all on here for different reasons. We're all representing different companies and we're all from different countries, but we all have one thing in common. We are all in the people business. We communicate with people, patients, different stakeholders every single day, most of us all day. And that means we need to know how to communicate. So communicating with people is at the heart of what we do, and copywriting is a massive, massive part of that. If you don't believe me, let's do a little thought experiment right now. Just for 5 seconds, close your eyes for 5 seconds, and take your mind back to when you were a child. Do you remember your mother, your father, or maybe your grandparents saying to you, watch your language, mind your tone of voice, think about how you're speaking? And did you listen? The kids who listened and changed their tone of voice, the kids who adapted their language, they got what they wanted. The kids who carried on screaming and shouting, invariably, and my case proves this, we didn't get what we wanted. But hey, I learnt in the end. So essentially, that's what copywriting is. It's talking, it's speaking to an audience, it's understanding what makes people tick, how to persuade, adjusting your tone of voice where it's necessary, and using the right words. So let me try to move this on. So let's try and understand how healthcare businesses and pharma can do copywriting better, or can do communication a little bit better. Put patients first, put the people first. The first tip I have for you is step into the shoes of your patients. Not literally, that's a crime, but figuratively do it, and you'll find that you have a better insight into who you're speaking to. You know, as a copywriter, whenever I'm faced with a new client or a new brand, new business to work with, I spend maybe a day, maybe 2 days, just trying to understand who their audience is, defining the demographic. What do they like? What don't they like? Where are they from? What are their interests? What are their pain points and gain points? You know, because we've all got different wants, different needs, different things going on. The company you work for might be global, but your communication needs to have some locality to it as well. So naturally, if you're working for Johnson & Johnson, you're going to have some global messaging going on. There's going to be some overarching messaging, but at the same time, let's have some local activation as well. Let's speak to people on a one-to-one basis as best as we can, and segment in that way. The second point is talk to them and not at them. Remember, when you're writing an article or you're writing an email or you're creating a caption for social media, talk to people, not at them. A good way to do this is to imagine that you are writing to somebody you are close to and somebody that you respect as well. So maybe an uncle or a business mentor. You're writing to impress them, and you're writing with personality and with feeling. But why are you doing that? You're doing that because sales and marketing has changed. It's no longer, here's what we do, like it or lump it. The audience has got smarter. The consumer is more intelligent. Things have to be done in a different way, and those who adapt will succeed. And to prove that, I've got a great Johnson & Johnson story. In 2018, Johnson & Johnson, obviously the number one baby care business in the world, they were forced to rebrand some of their baby care products because of some uproar that was happening on social media. Some parents, some mums and dads were not sure about some of the ingredients that were in the Johnson & Johnson products for their babies. This was spreading across social media. And for the first time ever, this giant, this massive pharmaceutical company, decided to actually listen. Their initial reaction, their reaction would normally be to do what they've always done, which is fight back with science and just state the facts and give the science, and they'll go away. No, on this occasion, and I'm quoting them now, this is what the chief marketing officer from Johnson & Johnson said. She said, "We started to think like a startup, and that's what saved us. We started to think, if we were starting from scratch, what would we do?" And she goes on to say that we adapted to a much more humble and open world. She says, "You've got to be open to new ideas. You've got to think like a startup. We responded with science in the past, but that's not what customers want now. They've got bigger concerns, and just giving them the facts isn't enough." So that's something to bear in mind as well. Empathy, bringing more emotion into your communications. Here's one of those stats that I was hoping. This one's not really a mind blower. I think the next one might be. This one's just a little one. So 85%. That's how many people use their smartphones to look up health or medical related information. So the audience is there. We all know that. They're waiting for you to give them the copy, the messaging, the articles, the information, the insight. But 28%. So this is the average number of words a user will read when they visit your content. 28%. So not only is their attention span not that great, but they're going to skim through what you've written, and they're only going to pick out the bits that are useful to them, especially when it's something like healthcare and something that's ailing them, something that's a problem. They want to go straight to the point. That's something to bear in mind as well when you're creating your copy. So one way to do that is to simplify everything. Here's a great example from breast cancer care. If you take a topic like radiotherapy, which is very complicated, they've broken it down and made it seem very, very simple. How? Just little simple things like headings and subheadings. The use of spacing, a lot of white space there. Don't make it daunting when people visit your content. Space things out and talk in plain English. Try to avoid jargon as much as you can, because healthcare and wellness doesn't need to be associated with complexity. For your patients, think about what your patients are going through. They're going through a lot of emotions already. They're going through hope, worry, fear. The last thing that they need is complexity. So try to simplify as best as you can. And my second tip would be to humanize. So your patients are looking for honesty, reassurance, comfort, and obviously the answers to the questions that they've got. A good way to humanize is to be creative. If you can see the slide, take a look at the diagram there. It's okay to be illustrative and creative with a serious message. So National Blood Week there, and the letters that are missing, those are the blood types that they need the most. So it's a clever little creative thing there. These are the things that can go viral on social media. People will share them. So be creative, explore emotions, but don't forget that the person you're speaking to might be hurting. They might be scared about what's coming for them. So focus less on the features of what you're selling or what you're serving or what you can do, and more on the benefits, so more on how's it going to help them, what are the consequences for them. I was having a little browse through health and medical content yesterday, and a lot of it comes off as very cold and very corporate. You don't need to do that. Again, put yourself in the shoes of the patient. Think about their family members, their caregivers. Identify what their needs are and what they're worried about, and then you'll be in a better position to be empathetic and to give them the right messaging. And think like a startup. Again, back to the Johnson & Johnson story. Hopefully that point makes sense to you. The third point I want to make is share more. So particularly on social media, as individuals representing your companies, share more. And obviously as companies as well, your marketing departments need to try and share more on the likes of LinkedIn. So the 80-20 rule in this case, 80% of the time, don't sell. 80% of the time, give information, inform, be interesting, inspire. AstraZeneca is a great example of this. Hopefully you can see the images on the right there. They did this very, very well, where a lot of their content is just interesting, it's engaging. And then 20% of the time, they will talk about their achievements or things that they're working on. And even when they are talking about things that they're doing, they make it about the patient, they make it about the end user, they make it about the audience. So you might have achieved wonderful things as a company, as a department, as a business, but it's not all about you. Try to bring the consequences in, try to make it relevant for the person who is reading and watching. Final point is LinkedIn. Guys, I'm sure you're all on LinkedIn. I'm a big advocate of that platform. In fact, I don't think I would have met Rafal if it wasn't for LinkedIn. Yeah, so make sure you're on there with complete profiles, publish articles on there. It's a great way to become a thought leader in your field, in your area of expertise. And if you want some tips, some quick things to take away as you're creating content, so as you're writing an article, you might think, oh, what should it be like? Here's some things for you to take away as you're doing that. So you might want to take a picture of this or just write it down or just remember it. So make sure it ticks at least one of these things. So is it interesting? Is it inspiring? Is it informative? If it's at least one of those, it's a good piece of content. It's a good piece of writing. And then does it show empathy? Does it feel simple? Does it give value? Again, if you can do all of those in one, great. It's a strong piece of content. It's a great piece of copy. But that's my time. That's everything I've got to give to you now. I'm going to hand it back over to Raf. And thank you very much for your attention. I really appreciate it.